Welcome to Code Hangout number 138, where we're gonna be starting very shortly. Are we back on Twitch? Alright, let's hope this works today, because last week this was a disaster and my camera is not even pointing at my face. I don't know why the face is blurry. I'll figure it out. The autofocus is struggling for some reason. Maybe it's maybe the light is a bit further away because the monitor is further back. Is that better? Cooler light. Yeah, kind of hurts my eyes a little bit. Let's keep it a little red, brownish reddish. I don't know. Warmer color temperature. This works today because... Okay. That seems to be working. Now let's see if YouTube is still complaining about the stream's bitrate. Alright, the stream bitrate is not 168 kilobits per second. So according to Restream, it's 6,100. It's recommended for Twitch. Please set less than 6,000. Your bitrate says recommended for Twitch. That should be fine. It's more. But YouTube is complaining that it's 160 bits. So that seems a little odd. Let's see, stream health. Stream settings. Let's see. We should be... I don't know why on YouTube it complains about a low bitrate, but it also doesn't give me the actual bitrate. Like stream health, it just pops in messages. It doesn't actually tell me what the bitrate is. I don't know. I'm gonna just hope this is okay for now. And if it's not, please let me know. And we'll have to do something again. So far, it seems to be alright. If I look at the stream itself, and don't see any frames. Do we get 60 FPS? I'm not sure. And the bitrate is... I don't see where I would see that. It says 10 megahertz per second. So, no, that's the connection speed. I don't know. Let's hope this is all good. Oh, that's not even live. All right, let's proceed. Hey. All right. Always some issues. Okay, so I'm going to continue where we were left off last time, because I had some thoughts earlier today. So yesterday, we don't even need this. So last week, we were looking at setting up a MongoDB with some test data in it, basically the puzzles. And we're basically building, and I think I have some kind of database tool that said something with C. Oh, don't know what the name was. What was it called? It was some MongoDB GUI with a weird, lightning or caramba or something name. It was some sort of completely unrelated thing. That's all I remember. And I'm not sure if I even asked it to generate a icon here. No. All right, MongoDB GUI. Maybe I'll remember. Compass. That sounds about right. Great. I have no idea where that got installed. I'm just gonna quickly look for that. Where does Compass get installed? Thanks, Windows, for not remembering any of that. Probably under roaming or anything like that. If I sort it, will it come at... Why is there Docker? I thought I installed that. All right. Compass. MongoDB Compass. Read the docs. I'm pretty sure I have it installed. MongoDB GUI Compass installation directory. Yeah, I can't find it. Where the hell is it? Program files. Oh, it's inside MongoDB. All right. I hate all that. No, it's not. Oh my god, it's under roaming, something. Yeah. Roaming, not roaming, local. And it'll be called something with Mongo. Here we go, found it. I should have told it to create an icon in the start menu. That's my mistake. All right, so we should be able to connect to this and have a look at PuzzleDB. And we created two. We have API puzzles, which is basically the raw data, and then the puzzle info, which currently has short ID, hash, and the length. And I was thinking, okay, so I basically need to parse the data and get as much metadata into something somewhere, right? That's like the basic step. But ultimately, I also need, like one of the tasks I need to do is figuring out duplication, right? So out of the, probably there's like 10 stored puzzles or more per puzzle, right? Because right now, because of the auto ID generation and because of the way people, go through passes when they're creating puzzles, they generally create a whole bunch of garbage versions of each puzzle. So what I want to do is I want to basically create hashes for other aspects of the puzzle. So for example, not just hashes, but like, for example, we want the counter ID, things like that, to see if we can identify puzzles and kind of get some overall idea. Now, for example, to pull out counter IDs, we actually need to parse the puzzles, right? And that'll be one of the first things we're gonna do. And we've done that recently. I've done a script in here somewhere. And I'm going to have a quick look for that because I think it was puzzle info, right? Like I even did a little search thing. And of course it needs to parse all the puzzles first, right? And a lot of the puzzles will be broken, right? Anytime there's an error, like right now, it doesn't check the quality of the puzzles. So part of the database will also be able to say, hey, let's filter out the broken puzzles or maybe even fix them, right? So I'm gonna look at a bunch of this code, which was for parsing the puzzles and see what I've done there. So parse puzzle item. So we have the puzzle searcher, load, parse, and what did we pass in as a parser? Parse puzzle, ID data. So load puzzles, what does load puzzles do? It searches counter info, and then the parser, oh, okay, so this doesn't actually, all right, never mind. So that doesn't actually parse the puzzles at all. This goes straight for the counter info and it doesn't deal with the puzzles themselves. Okay, never mind that one. So we had, I'm sure I had another one, maybe fix short IDs. It was one of the fix scripts where I was trying to figure out, yeah, I think this one is probably trying to parse puzzles. And if there's a problem, and I think, yeah, it was like, hey, we got a problem. So yeah, scan for errors. I'm pretty sure it's this one. So, first of all, create puzzle info. So we've done that one. All right, I gotta just refresh my mind. So parse puzzle data. And we're just gonna execute that. And because obviously we don't want to parse all the puzzles, we'll just want to, get a handle on it. And for that, we need to be able to open both of these kind of puzzles. And we'll probably want a cursor, right? And we'll probably need to look up some documentation here. So Mongo DB cursor limit. Mongo DB retrieve all documents. So I'm guessing we're doing collection find with a limit, right? So we'll do a find, query projection, options, and then find options. We'll have max? Max is a max value, I believe. Yeah, upper bound. So we'll limit number. Okay. So we'll be able to do something like limit 3. Right? And we should be able to do something like that. Let's do a limit 1 here. And just output the document, which probably is going to be a bunch of gibberish. Yeah, but it gets us the data, right? And now, basically, we're going to have to start parsing these. And until we can identify problems, right? So here we can get the extension out, but it's obviously we have a couple of special cases and all this sort of thing. And we need to bring in, we got to bring in all our libraries and our tools. So let's do that. We have puzzle tools, puzzle zipper, replay library. Don't know if we need that yet. But one thing we don't have to do is we don't have to pull the data from the drive, because we should be able to just pull it. You know, you have it in the database, right? Okay. So so we have all of these. And we'll basically start, I believe, with things like split puzzle format, right? So that should just work. Now we're looking at puzzle raw. We'll do something like const puzzle raw equals doc. We'll have short ID puzzle raw. And we should be able to do that. And we should be able to output that. And maybe I can even just run that through all of them, because there'll be some where that is already going to break. Parse puzzle data. Const stock. Did I something? Parse puzzle data. Oh, okay. Parse puzzle raw. Let's call it that. Parse puzzle data is actually a function from one of the libraries. My ear. Now, here, this one is encoded. So we might have to decode that. And I'm pretty sure I had to deal with that here as well. So that's why there's a bunch of stuff happening before we're trying to look at... and here, basically, I did a bunch of checks to make sure I can catch errors early. So format split is happening actually fairly late. So, for example, test native, because that wouldn't be a format, right? Okay. But let's just put that in there and see what happens. That should just split it in two, get us the format and the thing, right? And we should be able to do this fairly quickly and figure out what the formats are, right? And that's kind of one of the other advantages, is that I can kind of break these things down into multiple steps. So basically, I want to be able to say, you know, start going through the data. You know, whenever you're getting a FPUZ or whatever format, put it back in the database until it breaks. And now we can just look at the ones which don't have a format yet, and we know how many there are, etc., right? So we'll probably do something like that. Format puzzle data. Right? Output the format, skip that. Limit, let's say 10. Right? And we got a bunch of these, right? Limit 100. See if it'll... I don't know if it'll actually break at this stage, right? And we'll just say if format, if fpuz and scl dot includes, but actually we're reversing it. So we're just looking for one that isn't one of those, and there might not be one in the first 100, right? What about the first 1,000? No. First 10,000. here we go, right? So we're gonna start getting a couple in here. We'll skip the SCFs as well. And you saw that that was actually fairly quick. In fact, let's time it. Let's say 50,000, right? All right, you see, less than a second, we basically did a format pass on 50,000 puzzles, right? Anything more exciting than nothing? All right. And if we also exclude empty, and we'll just limit basically a large number and just scan them all, right? Okay, so they're all either FPUS, SCL, SCF, or blank, which is curious because some of them should be PAC, I believe. So it could also be that the split puzzle format function here is a little bit out of date still. And it definitely is because the puzzle pack is actually added dynamically, I believe. So the other thing we'll do is let format count. We can do this, right? And then we'll do something like format count format equals format count format or 0 plus 1. And then we should be able to just output format count at the end. And it should just get us the totals for these. And obviously that's something we want to be able to write in. Yeah. So we have 50,898 as FPUS, 26,802 as SCL. We have 10 SCFs in there, and 400. Strange that we have SCFs in there, actually. If format equals SCF, so .log, because SCFs shouldn't be long enough to get auto-shortened. It could also be that there's some sort of error. Okay, lots of copies of the blank puzzle, basically. That's interesting. Okay. But, you know, that's the sort of thing we're actually here to figure out. So, before we do this again, we'll actually want to add format to our puzzle info. So, puzzle info initdb. So, we're going to add additional indexes. We'll do format, right? And then we want to update puzzle info. Now, this is, I don't like this that I have to do an update like this. I wonder if I can do a bulk update with like multiple IDs. So kind of like an update many. So there should be collection.update, right? Find get update. Mongo shell methods. Deprecated Mongo different methods. See completely change the see Mongo shell. Okay, update many. All right, so MongoDB node update. So we kind of want the node documentation, find one and update. Well, we don't want to do a find one. We want to update many documents, update multiple documents, right? All right, is that a API documentation? What is this? That's definitely not JavaScript. It's maybe TypeScript, maybe. All right. Filter used to select the document to update. An aggregation pipeline. Ugh. We might have to do these one at a time, which is going to be super slow, I believe, right? Well, you know, I say it. Maybe it's not going to be super slow. So let us see how we do this update. Update a document. So is this find one and update, or do we just execute update? I mean, we've done an update insert raw puzzle here. We did an upsert. So the update doc will be this, filter will be that. Okay, so we'll basically, let's go limit 1 again. We have short ID, puzzle raw. Let's output this, right? And we want to do that. All right, we'll stop that again. Don't want to rebuild the caches every time. So then we want to do a find one from the other collection. So we'll do something like, and this is just for myself to kind of remind myself of the syntax. So we'll use this find syntax on API puzzles, right? Are we working on, which collection are we working on? We're working on API puzzles. Okay, but we want to actually look at puzzle info. So we want to do a puzzle info find. And we'll do a find on short ID and see what we get. Short ID. Short ID is not defined. It's right there. Short ID. Short. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. All right, so that gets us something. It gets us probably a cursor. There was another method for actually find a document. Like if I just want to get the one, can we do a find one? Find. Movie, find one. Okay, so I think the find one basically skips the whole cursor thing. Okay, so we have this, that's our hash, and that should all match up. And now we basically want to push the format in there. Okay, so we'll do an update. We just looked that up as well. So we'll do like an update document, update 1. Something in my filter, update doc, options. Now the filter, what does it look like? Filter. Okay, so it's basically this. And then the update doc would be something that has a $set. So set, and then we want to set format. That's basically it, right? And let's limit it to FPUZ formats only on this pass. FPUZ. Just as a test, right? And is the result worth keeping? Well, let's do one and find out. Okay, acknowledge true, modified count 1, yada, yada, yada. Now, let's go in here, look at puzzle info, and we'll do a format. How do we do not equals? MongoDB not equals. We'll do an NE, $NE. So format, $NE, not equal. MongoDB has field. We'll just do an exists. So it'll be $exists true, I guess. All right, find. Don't need these. All right, here we go. And that's it, right? It found us that one. And I'm sure we can do some kind of version of joins here, or something joined-like. I mean, we can do it in code for sure. Okay. Shall we do this again? We basically want to find a format $exists false, right? We only want to find those where the format doesn't exist. So these should be different now. They do not look different. Let us only output short ID. Let's try this again. So short ID this. This is the same short ID. So our filter here exists false. Am I looking under, because we're looking under API puzzles. Okay. So what's the equivalent for MongoDB with a join? MongoDB join. Like if I want to search two collections, how do I do that? So we can do a create view. So, okay, well, that's what we're here for. Let's learn it. So we should be able to do db.createView API puzzles puzzle info, right? And let's look it up in the Node.js docs if we can. Delete operations in there, find multiple documents. Aggregation. Group and total unpack one-to-many, one-to-one join. Here we go. Okay. Before you get started, aggregation template app instructions to start working Node.js example. Adding the following code. Okay, delete many. Add a match stage for orders in 2020. So pipeline. Protect products collection. Delete many. Wait, insert many. Okay. Match pipeline. Add a lookup stage to link the collections. So, okay, where does this pipeline thing come from? So, in this tutorial, how to manage Node.js driver construct aggregation pipeline, perform the aggregation on the collection, and print the result by completing running a sample app. Okay. Before you get started, okay. Now, I don't see where it finds where this pipeline project comes, this pipeline object comes from. An aggregation pipeline. I'm guessing it's a bare array. Use the first run the aggregation pipeline. Okay. So I'm guessing what we're actually gonna do is we're running an aggregate on a particular collection. This doesn't look right. Aggregation template. Well, let's try it, okay? Let's do this. MongoDB driver. I'm curious. Let's see, this API documentation, that's this weird one here, yeah. Create view, let's see if that exists first of all. LMN OPR, nope, there's no create view. Can I search Create view. No. Aggregate. Collection. Execute an aggregation framework pipeline against the collection. Needs MongoDB greater blah blah blah. Alright. Aggregation options. Array of aggregation pipeline to execute. Alright, well, let's just try it out and see what we can do. So add a match stage that matches orders placed in Thingamajig. Okay. Add a stage to link. Okay, so first of all, this is an array, right? And we're doing this on API puzzles, I guess, like that. So we want to, why is it doing this? Okay, so we want this to be a lookup, right? From puzzle info, like that. Local field, short ID. Foreign field, short ID. As info mapping. Okay. Add a match stage. I don't want a match stage. I just want to get all of them. Next, add 2 set stages to the pipeline. The first set stage sets the product mapping field to the first element in the product mapping object created in the previous lookup stage. The second set stage creates 2 new fields. Okay. So, all right. So we'll have a one set here. And this one's what? Product mapping. So we have info mapping here. Info mapping. And we'll say first product mapping. The first sets the product mapping field to the first element in the product mapping object. Okay, I don't know what that actually means. And I think product mapping is not a thing that exists here. It's a thing that gets created. All right. I guess we'll put some extra comments all over the place. And then we'll add another set stage. And now we're doing what? We're doing product name. And the second stage creates 2 new fields, product name and product category, from the values in the product mapping object field. Okay. So the pipeline gets executed on what? On orders column or orders collection. So orders data has product ID value, and then the other one has name, category, description. And we're pulling out name and category from the mapping. All right, so we should be able to say, let's have a quick look what is in our puzzle info. We have hash. So let's just pull out the hash for a second, right? So we'll say puzzle hash is info mapping dot hash, right? And then we'll execute the pipeline via aggregate. Can we do MongoDB aggregate limit? Can we do a limit somehow? Limit in aggregation. So I guess that goes at the end. 1. And then what's the result of the aggregate? Aggregation result. The documents represent. So we should be able to let aggregation res. We should be able to loop through that. I don't know. What does aggregate return? Aggregate. It's a cursor, okay. So maybe we can just do that. it might not make sense what's coming out of there. Okay, we get error, so we don't have to worry about it making sense yet. Caused by first argument must be an array, but it is first argument must be an array. That's not what the example is doing, though. First's argument must be an array. First. Definitely not an array. Plan executor error during aggregation caused by first argument must be an array, but is string. All right, MongoDB aggregate get. That's the problem with documentation by examples, is it doesn't tell you how or why you're using it, and if it goes wrong, you have no idea why, right? Stage 4 is trying to refer joint error, which is dropped in stage 3. So, what? Stage 1, match. Look up. Stage 3, project. Okay, and then for failed with error. This probably doesn't match anything. First argument. Array match. Array element at. Array element at. In your code, stage 4, which is this one, add fields. It's trying to refer to joint array, which is dropped in stage 3. Stage 3, joint profile 0. Why is it being dropped? You're projecting only enterprise field in the ID implicitly. There are many ways to fix that, but for instance, you could use add fields in stage 4 to keep joint array and drop it later. So get rid of joint if it's no longer useful. Stage 3, stage 4. What? Stage 4 to keep joint array and drop it later as quality match. Add fields match. All right, let's try something a little different. If I do this and just do a limit 1, well, what will it do? Okay, it'll get 1. If I do a what was that example doing? A match. If I do a dollar match of anything, right? And I'm gonna start doing this because otherwise I'll go crazy. Like that. All right, it should match anything. And if I limit 2, it should grab me 2. Okay. And then I should be able to do a lookup. Right? And in this lookup, what am I gonna do? From puzzle info, no weirdness there. Right? Look, okay, that's actually this. So this should be right. Let us shorten it like that. So it's from local field, foreign field as joined. Let's follow this example. Okay. So we have this, and we have the joint data in there. Okay. Don't know what the set stuff here is. So let's do one of these add fields things. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ow, ow, ow. Ooh, cramp. Ah. Ow. Excuse me. I got a cramp in my thigh. Ow, ow, ow. Ah, that hurts. Like my foot is itching. I was trying to scratch it and I got a cramp. I don't know how that worked. All right. Let us add puzzle hash. And we're just gonna say we need all this array element at. Let's just try this. If I do this, right? Now I do an array element at, and then we'll do joint dot hash 0, right? And then unrecognized pipeline stage name. Add fields. I'm guessing this is something that has changed since that thing was written. is introduced in 3.4. I don't know. What version of MongoDB am I using? I don't know. Edit view. Connect. Import saved. So database. MongoDB version. Where is my MongoDB? It was down here somewhere. So if I do this, backslash MongoD version, something like that. .exe. Is it not MongoD? MongoD.exe. Version in expression, unexpected token. Why am I not PowerShell? This is not supposed to be a PowerShell. I just want a command prompt. All right, here we go. 7.06. Okay, so that sounds larger than 3.4 or whatnot. So must be an array. MongoDB, Mongo array. Introduce Mongo 3.4. So you have count. You're using Mongo 3.29. I have version 7 point whatever. All right, well, let's try set then. Don't know what the difference is. Don't really care. Why do they rename these things? Oh, okay. So that created the thing out of the joined. And if I try with the first thing here and just pass in a string instead, like that. Okay. Why did I say info mapping there then? Okay. So that seems to be getting us the data we want. Okay. Hey, Nicholasy, how are you doing? Yeah, and it's like, doesn't hurt right now, but it feels like it's lingering. It feels like if I have one wrong move and I'll get it again. And now my left foot feels like it's cramping up. I don't know what's going on there. All right. Now, why were we doing all of this? Okay, because we wanted to have access to both at the same time. And I'm probably able to do some sort of upsert during this sort of thing as well, during this aggregation. But now I'm blanking. Wait, it'll come to me. We want to actually do this on puzzle info, right? Right. So we want to do it this way round. We want to look up that. Right. And that should work the same. We just inverted it. But now we can match on... what did we have? Exist? Not exist? We should be able to match... format as exists false. Is that something we can do? So up here, we didn't get a format. Now we don't get a, okay, if this is true, do we get a format? And in fact, how many do we get? Ah, all right. So we have the format here. And we only get one. So we can do count, I think. I think that's a thing. Not a function. Count undefined. MongoDB cursor count. Is that a thing we can do? Find dot count. Aggregate cursor count. To count method on the cursor changes the query being sent from find to count. This only works if you're sending a find query to begin with, not when you're aggregating. Okay. At the following stage after this group stage to see the group count. So if I do $count, the problem is, isn't that just gonna, I don't know, isn't that just gonna count everything? Total 1 exists false. What do we get? Total 2. Limit. If I do this, total 8248, true. Okay. It's a bit unfortunate that I'll have to do the counts separately. Okay, so that'll get us one that has a format. So if I say false, that'll get us this many that don't. So in this case, 2. And now we should be able to just walk through these and do our thing down here, right? And over time, we can kind of clean that up. And we're learning, right? Learning is happening here. Can we do MongoDB find regexp? Can I find by regexp? Can we do something like zip dip dip? We need the puzzle raw, right? We'll do puzzle raw. SCF. What if we do this and then do this? I don't know if the join or the lookup happens before or after the join. This is not going to be useful. And if we get rid of this, and if we get rid of this, and we'll do that, what do we get? Can we do filtering on? So, get filter on join. Can we filter on the joint properties? I don't think that's not useful either. Querying with joins and filters in Mongoose. Look up match. So maybe we can do a match at the bottom. So if I do a, and let's make that a one-liner. We'll do a match. What do we want to match? We'll match this. Like that. Whoop. Does that do the thing? Puzzle raw is SCF. It gets us to where puzzle raw is SCF. Okay. So now we should be able to do a regexp. Oh man, I hate the syntax. Holy moly. And I'm guessing the regexp is also a string, right? MongoDB regexp. Regex. Oh no, it accepts a pattern. So something like SCF. Is that gonna work? unexpected token. Oh, wait, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can we do that and that and that? Nope. No. Match regex pattern. Okay, MongoDB regex Node.js. Yeah, it's not working. Find one, find regex. Okay, I figured that that won't work as an actual regular expression. Right? That is the wrong symbol, isn't it? Ah, look at that. All right. So, fpuz. And this is a lot faster than like opening 80,000 files or whatnot. All right. So, for example, we can do this now. And if we do a count and a giant limit, or we should just comment it out. So this gets us 40,800, whatever, right? So we should now do this. And I think we don't need to give it these weird names, right? We can just do this. Hash total raw. Like, does that work? Without the total. Puzzle raw. I don't think the hash is good because that's not coming out of the join, is it? Yeah, we're just, in fact, we're overwriting the hash here. Okay. And the short IDs should match up. And now we should be able to do this and this. And we should be able to just output short ID and format. Like that. And then this should always be true, basically. And now, before we do this, we should also be able to do this. Right. Exist is false. Acknowledged, yada yada. So now it's done this one. If we do another one, it'll do a different one. And if I now go back to here and I say exist format exists true, we have a couple more than we had before. fpuz, 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 fpuz. Okay. So in theory, we should be able to just do this for all of them now. And then that's it. If I do this, this should fill in format for all of fpuz. And I should have done that for like 100 or 1,000 first, because I have no idea how slow it actually is. So let's see, 200 milliseconds or 1, but that's No, okay, 14 seconds. So now if we do this and do this, 58,000, okay. And now if we do something similar for SCL, right? And let's just do this for now. Like that. Format is not defined. Oh. I don't know why, if it throws an error, we're not closing everything. We'll probably want to do... we'll probably want to do this. Basically. primitively speaking. All right, and if I do it again... Oh, okay, because we haven't done the actual update now. So 14 seconds for 50,000, so this should take about 7 seconds. Like that. And the funny thing is, I'm doing this serially. I could do this in parallel, and it should be a lot faster. Can I? I still don't know how I do an update for many. Fundamentals. Usage example. Let's have a look at this. If I say... let me just have a quick look at YouTube, make sure things aren't completely garbo because of the bitrate, because it was complaining last time. Stream with healthy. Okay, it's happy right now. That's nice. Always glad to make it happy. And Twitch says unstable. It might be the bitrate being too high, but the health is... It says CTC stream. I'm not sure why it says CTC stream. I'm not streaming... I don't know where the CTC comes from. Alright. Hey, Thomas Miles, how are you doing? Yeah, please let me know if there's any weirdness. I'm still trying to dial in this new computer. Alright, MongoDB, Node.js, update many. So, how would that work? Set. Can I just pass in? No, this only works when you have the same update for many records. MongoDB update array. No, updating array. Update multiple. Update multiple documents. There's some shortcut here. Filter update doc. Update multiple with different data. Different values. Update your position, your area will look like this. Wait, what? 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 3. Ah, bulk write. Okay. MongoDB Node.js bulk write. That's probably what we want. Okay. Ah, I have a pain here right now, and I don't know why. So insert one, update. Okay, so we can do let bulk ops. All right, we'll do this for a sec. Whoops. And then if format equals fpus, we'll do bulk ops dot push, and we'll basically do something like this. Update one, filter update upsert, update one. It'll be filter this, and then update that. Right. And then at the bottom, we're gonna output bulk ops. And we'll see what we get. Puzzle raw is not defined. Hey. SCL. Let's do a limit. Let's output some stuff. Oh, we're still doing total. That's gonna help. All right, here we go. JSON.stringify. No. All right, let's see how that works. So, format SCL, format SCL. So this should be a lot faster. Like if we do 100 of these, boom, right? Let's not output that. And then we'll do a singular res await, yada yada, right? Res await, and I think we can do a bulk write. So we can do a singular bulk write, and then we'll just push all of that in. Bulk ops, like that. And see what it says. Boom. And match count, modified count 100. So now if I go in here, this is currently 5,898. 5,998. Okay, so it should have the other formats added, 100 of them, right? So now if I get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and just do this and see how fast it'll do it for 20,000. 2 seconds. Okay, that's more like it. That's the sort of performance I'm expecting. Now if I do it again, it'll be 0. Fetch cannot be empty. Sure. If bulk ops.length is greater than 0. Something like that, right? And I think we can probably just do that. All right. And now we'll do it for SCF. Right. Boom. And now it's 0. Okay. And now, if I do this, and just output, and not do that anymore. Boom, 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 boom. We get total so-and-so, right? But if I say, if format is not empty, we can just do this, right? And we don't do a total, we don't do a limit, and we don't output the doc, because there'll be 4,000 of them. So the rest are all empty. Okay, so that means we can now filter by puzzles with and without format, etc. And we can probably... wait. No. Where's SCL? Wait a second. So if I say... 1 second. Did we do SCL already and I just renamed it? We probably reused that for SCL, right? So really here what I wanted to do is this. I just want to generalize this so I don't confuse myself in the future. And here we'll probably do SCF, well, FPUZ or SCF or SCL, right? Now, in theory, we should also be able to find pack. All right, if we count total, and we got to output that. All right. What if I do match against pack? Total 3. So format here, okay. So our format thing does work for pack. So these should be the pack data bits, data bitties. Yeah, this is the pack data, all right. Okay. If I do this, the second time it won't be there anymore. Okay, so we've done the pack. What other formats are there? FPuzzles, FPUZ, SCL, SCF. There are a couple others potentially. All right, but for now, this is a good start, and it gives us a bit of a framework to do this sort of stuff, right? I don't think we need any of that now. Now, the other question here is, let us get rid of this here for a sec. And can I do, so if I do MongoDB count fields, can I count like how many different versions of a particular field they're in? Let's see. Just want to make sure I don't miss any messages. Count values. Count distinct values. I am getting hot. I have a pain in my stomach. All right. My call distinct cuisine query. Find the filter distinct values. So it's based on that distinct thing. So if I go here and I say distinct, can I have more than one field? The field for which to return distinct values. MongoDB distinct multiple fields. Set only one key. So with aggregate ID, market group. Okay. Aggregate group. How does the group command work? So because that seems like something I should be able to do. Group. So optimization, run first last document of each group. Group ID, Y first Y. Count the number of documents in a collection. So group, the following aggregation operation uses the group stage to count the number of documents in the sales collection. The group stage separates documents into groups according to a group key. The output is one document for each unique group key. One document for each. A group key is often a field or group of fields. The group key can also be the result of an expression. So would I want the group key to be basically like format plus ID of the document, I'm guessing. However that is done. So group ID market code. Market code. All right. Let us try that. So, let's forget that. Let's forget that. Actually, let's forget all of that. And we're just gonna do, we'll do a group here. Right? And we'll basically have ID, which is format. I don't know where the dollar market comes from. Is that going to be dollar format? And code format and what did I say? Short ID. Dollar short ID. And if I do a limit on that, is that gonna make sense? And then I'll just do something like that. What will that look like? Cursor has already been declared. Can I then count per group? 1 million record collection on my test machine. This ran 4 seconds while map reduced version took over a minute. If you're willing to wait for the upper... And if I execute count ID, what exactly would that look like? Group's ID may only be specified once. Count total. Total 3. No, that's not what I want. So, I don't fully understand how group works, I'm afraid. Let's try again. So we can go back to aggregate and then hopefully find group. Am I looking at the right thing here though? I'm not sure I am. I'm going to be Node.js aggregate group. Nope, aggregate group. All right, let's see if that tells us anything. ID expression, accumulated expression. Okay, so we were looking at this earlier. Yeah, I don't want my documentation for specific database commands starting with installing the database. That seems a little too much from... Ah, woo, wait, what? Department. Total group employees by department field and computer total number of employees and average salary in each department. What if I just do this, for example, right? And then do total format, total puzzles, sum 1. If I do this, what does that look like? What if I do that? Fpuzz, total puzzles, and if I take the limit out, 1, no. That's not exactly what I want. Sum. Group employees by department field and compute total number of employees and average salary for each department. Average salary. Total employees. Format ID. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. That needs to be out of here. Here. So the ID looks like that. And then total puzzles looks like that. And it's part of the group thing. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so we know that's 470. Okay, this is exactly the sort of thing I want. Beautiful. So in theory, let's hold on to this because we'll probably use it again. And we could even do something like const group formats, group by format, And we can probably just throw that in here as an object like that and then reuse that, right? We can probably keep that fairly compact if we wanted to. Do we need the ID? Yes. So we should be able to do something like this. Group by format, it should be the same, right? And now we can say, okay, let's group by hash. Hash. I don't like this multi-syntax here while we're repeating those words, but ooh, okay. So we probably don't want to do that. And then we'll do a match. Basically, can I match where total, or let's just call this count. Count is $ greater or equal to 10. Is that something we can do? Nope. Okay. Node.js greater or equal GTE. So we do have hash collisions. Can we do a sort? Aggregate sort. Like, why wouldn't we, right? So we should be able to do something like sort. And frankly, these can be one-liners. So we'll sort by count. -1. And then now we can limit and just get the top 10, right? Something like that. There we go. Huh. So there are some hashes which have a large number of collisions, except they might be the same puzzle data, right? They might not actually be hash collisions. They might literally just be duplicates. That's our first duplicate check. Look at that. If we count this, it should give us the number of unique hashes at least, right? Which doesn't account for like puzzles with minor variations in the data. But if I do this, we have... No, that doesn't make sense. Because we're counting greater than yada yada, right? All right, so roughly half of the puzzles. Okay, so there's roughly 2 copies for every puzzle, which actually kind of makes sense, right? And if we go the other way around and, you know, basically want to know how many puzzles there with a count of... this doesn't make any sense. Where we just say, okay, give us... yeah, actually what I want to do is I want to do less than or equal to 1, and then just count the total of that. So there's 39,442 puzzles that aren't duplicated. And then if we do greater or equal than 1, greater or equal than 2, GTE is greater than or equal, right? Did I get that wrong? Expression greater, not equal, GTE. I got that. GTE. Selects the documents where the value of the specific field is greater than or equal. Okay, so if greater than, equal, less than, or equals. So not LTE. No, yeah, less than or equal. Okay, greater than equal. So greater than 1 gets us how many? 9,800. And less than 2, 39,000. Okay. Ah, wait. Greater than 1, less than 2. What? And total count is... Wait, what? Why is it only 49,000? If I get rid of the group and the sort, and I just get the total of puzzle info, it's 82,000. If I group it by hash, I get half of it. Oh, because we have only 49,000 different hashes. Yeah. Okay. Ah, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. It's the sum, like, if I add all the hashes with 1, all the hashes with 2, and all the hashes with 3, so on, add all those numbers together, I get 82,000. Okay. I was brain farting there. All right, so this is actually really, really good. This is exactly the sort of stuff I want to do, and, like, look at that. 0.24 seconds, right? 200 milliseconds, boom, I get all this data. So that's the magic of databases. All right. So now... basically, we have a couple of these building blocks that I'm just kind of throwing around here. But the next step is to basically parse data, right? So we currently have 2 tables, API puzzles, puzzles info. I don't know if I want to just stuff everything into puzzle info, especially something really chunky like the decoded puzzle data. But at least something we can do now is we can say, okay, let's get all the puzzles by, let's get all the whatever puzzles, right? Let's get all the all the SCF puzzles, for example. Boom. So we can just say match format SCF like that. Right? Can do this. We just need to pull that out of the join. We don't need to match anything. We want to count. So that should get us all the all the SCF. Let's do all the SCLs. 26,802, right? So now let's do a limit of 3 or 1. No total. And we want to output. I commented the wrong thing here. Okay, and now we should be able to just run it through our parser. So SCF should be, we'll do the split. So we'll go down over here, do the split. And now we'll parse the data. So, and we might as well do it manually. We'll just do decompress. And we'll do something like try. Because once we'll start doing this for all of them, I'm expecting various errors. And we just want to record the errors, so then in subsequent runs, we can just skip the ones that threw errors. That kind of stuff, right? Let decomp equals decompress puzzle data. So we can do this. And puzzle raw is not defined. Yeah, I skipped one little bit here. This kind of thing. Boom. Okay. And then we'll do the puzzle unzip. Like that. Then we can do let JSON. Here we just do a break actually. JSON unzip, JSON.parse. And we could just do JSON. Boom, right? Do we just want to throw all that JSON data into? I'm contemplating if it should just go in the same table. I don't know if that's going to be a problem, especially because we're dealing with different formats, right? So, I mean, I guess we can have puzzle SCL, JSON SCL, etc. Hey, babe. All right. So let's do that. The other thing we could do is we could just try to run through them all and see, you know, when it throws an error, basically. We could just try doing this, right? And then we can say, okay, limit 100, boom, does it blow up? No. Limit 1000, boom, does it blow up? Yes, eventually, right? So, let's go back to 1. Let's do what we did earlier with the bulk ops, right? So we'll do a bulk ops like that. And then bulk ops, we'll do this. Bulk ops.push, update 1, filter, short ID, update, set. And now we're specifically doing SCL. We'll do JSON SCL, JSON. Okay. And then we'll basically want to do that. And there's just one. So we'll just do that one. And we'll do the same filter again. So we say, hey, if this thing is set already, don't do the same thing again. So we'll do a match. Match. Format SCL, match. Match JSON SCL exists false. Like that. I think we can just chain these, right? And then instead of outputting all of that, maybe we can just do this. Like that, right? So now, every time I run this, this should be a different ID. Okay. And if I don't run it, and I'll say limit 100. Okay, we'll do 100, we'll do 100, we'll do 100. If I take the limit off, we can do a JSON SCL error, right? So okay, if I run it now, it'll hit the error one, right? It'll update 261, but now it should always hit the error one and not update any further. So what we can do now is we can do set JSON SCL error, and we'll just set it to true. And here we'll do a match of JSON SCL error false. Or shall we just do have a generic parse error? Parse error. right? And then he'll just say parse error false. Parse error false. Okay. Let's skip this for a sec. What's happening? If I calculate count and output, what do we get? 0. Parse error false exists false. Unexpected end of JSON. Yeah, so we get an error here. Count. Unexpected end of JSON. Yeah, that's fine. If I say parse error false, parse error not equals to true. Because they just don't exist, right? So something like that. Parse error true. Okay. Can we... we don't want to have a count total, but we want to have a limit 10, something like that. Boom, yeah, it gets us a bunch of stuff. Get rid of the limit. Do this. And exist false. Boom. And that was terrible. And that should just do all of them. We'll get the errors. So now we'll stop that. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna comment this out quickly. So I just want to output the document and do a count quickly. Right, so this count should be 0 now. No, it's not. Parse error is not equal to true. Exists is false. Total is that. Let's bring this over. Format is SCL, right? And find. And oh, I think we can do it in here, right? So then we can do parse error true, find, parse error false, find, JSON SCL exists false, find. Okay, so this didn't do anything apparently. All right, let's try this again. So we'll do this, do the bulk ops. Don't output the error here. Set parse error to true. Okay. So it'll be slow. But, oh, because did I abort this? I don't know, but it'll be slow because it's hitting all these errors and exceptions and such. Invalid string length. JSON error inner. Invalid string length. 146. Ugh. We'll probably just want to do dot length. And we'll probably want to throw a limit on there. I have a feeling it can't handle however many I'm throwing in there. Okay, 10,000. Can we do 10,000? Nah, let's do 5,000. We should only have to hit this like 3 times, 4 times. So 1,000 took about a second. Yeah, 3 seconds. 5,000 again. All right, so now we seem to be doing the modifications. What I don't know right now is if it's actually modifying new data or if it's remodifying existing data because my filters are bad. Ah, okay, and now we're at 0. Okay, so now if I do this, exists false. Yeah, so wherever this is false, parse error should be true now. And if I do parse error false, or parse error not equal to true, they're gonna work? Explain. Fetch, return, 0 execution. Xscan. Don't know. All right, so the parse. So basically, either we have the data or we have the parse error. If I turn it around, find parse error false, and if I just say exists false, yeah. So each one of these is either parsed or has a parse error. I'm gonna go on a short break. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right, 1 sec. Ooh. All right. Let's keep going. Here we go. So, we have, for the first time, actually, like a whole bunch of parse data. Only 9.7 megabytes? It seems so little. It doesn't seem like it's enough. Average size 142 bytes. Maybe these objects are just a more efficient way. I don't know. What about this one? That's supposed to be like 140 megabytes. Oh yeah, here we go. 158 8 megabytes. Okay, let's continue and do it for the other types, right? So let's comment this out for a sec. Maybe turn that into a one-liner as well. Easier to comment it out and all that. Like that. Okay, so the next one would be, I guess we'll just do SCF now. Sorry, not SCF, FPUZ. So we'll do that. JSON FPUZ. So parse error not equal to true. Yada yada yada. Output the document. And if I run that, okay, we'll get that. So, I guess we'll do uncompress, but in this case, we're not doing the unzip, I believe, right? Where is our stuff? Decompress puzzle data. No. If I output puzzle data first, what does that look like? Okay, so I think here we have a problem, for example, with that stuff. And I'm guessing, because this is URL encoded. Now, this might actually work if I just bring it up, because I think we're doing a URI decoding step. Okay, so we might have to URI decode there. All right, so let's move that here. We'll say if decomp equals null. We'll try again, but we'll do a decode URI component first. A decode URI component. Puzzle data. Now, I didn't consider that if decompression was null for the other puzzles, that we might have to double check them all. Maybe that's why the size is small. Decomp equals null. Decomp. What if we output it twice? Puzzle data, decomp null, decomp null. Decode URI component. That doesn't work here? Or is this literally just a badly... No, but it does decode. Decompress puzzle. Decompress puzzle. Is that one of the ones where we need to do fixed slashes? Does this run through fixed slashes? I don't even know how to tell right now. Framework.app.source puzzle get puzzle ID. Async await console.log await fetch puzzle loader.fetch puzzle get puzzle ID. Do we need to fix puzzle slashes here? Well, let's see what happens if we do that. Decomp, no. Decomp, no. Why does this not decompress? That seems strange. Puzzle loader dot decompress puzzle ID. Boom. That works. Load f puzzle dot decompress puzzle. What? It should work. Oh, is it because of the let? Am I being an idiot? I am being an idiot. Okay. All right, so let's do a couple of helper functions here. Const decompress puzzle data. Puzzle data. All right. We'll do this, and then we'll do if decomp equals no. Decomp equals. We'll do it again, and then we'll just do turn decomp. All right, and now we should be able to just do that. Like that. Yeah, we have some naming conflicts here. Because I think decompress puzzle data. I don't know. Decompress puzzle data should be fine. Where is our decomp here? Is an error happening? Oh, puzzle data is not defined. Ugh. Yeah, it's always dangerous to swallow errors. Yeah, should not do that. Okay. All right, so these I believe are not zipped. So we should be able to just do this. Right? So let's do a const decode fpuz puzzle data fpuz puzzle raw. Oh no, just data. Right, and then that'll be decomp yada yada yada. That'll be, gosh, that will be decompress data, and that'll be just JSON parse, JSON.parse. So, well, it's just that. And we'll do decompress puzzle data SCL, and that's decompress, unzip, and parse. All right. So if I do this, we're just going to get that, right? And then we're just going to do let JSON fpuz equals that. And then this is just JSON fpuz. If JSON fpuz is not equal to null. I don't know if this returns null, and we do a JSON.parse null, JSON.parse null, we return null. Okay. If it's equal to null, we'll throw an error. We'll just do throw parse error, something like that, right? And then otherwise we'll do this. JSON fpus. And we'll make JSON fpus here. And we'll do the parse error here. Okay. And we don't want to output all these things now. Okay. And if I do it like this and I output, let's do 2. Just another sanity check. Yeah. Let's just hope it's all gonna be good. Let's try it. Oh, error. Yeah. Let's limit it to 100. All right, let's limit it to 1,000. Takes 500 milliseconds. So if we do 5,000, it'll be about 3 seconds. All right, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. So that's 20,000, 25,000, 30,000, 35, 40. I think there were about 50. Yeah, and now there should be 0. Okay, so that's all the fpus puzzles parsed. And now let us do one of our little aggregate counter guys. Did we have group by format? Let's do a group by parse state. So instead of format, we're going to get... it's actually a bit trickier because we want to exist true false. So let's not do that for a sec. And let's skip the SCFs for now. All right. But what I do want to do now is I want to recheck them all. And I don't want to lose this stuff here. So we want to recheck them all. How do we do an OR on a match? That's actually kind of useful. MongoDB match OR aggregation. So is this just like a high level thing? So match OR find. But does the OR goes inside the match or outside the match? Okay. So I'm guessing, yeah, we do the OR inside. Okay. So let's look at that. We'll skip that. Parse error not equal to true. And then instead of that, we'll do an OR. OR. Right? And it's JSON fpus or JSON SCL. SCL exists. True. True. We'll do a count, and then we'll see if we can output that count. Or must be an array. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Or. Oh, and then I'll just. Oh, geez, I hate that. Okay, an array of objects. So we have 73,000 where we have a parse of one or the other. But now we do a match and we want to find out if one of these is null. And I'm starting to think having them both in there at the same time is going to be a pain in the ass. So we'll just have this not equal to null. And the problem is I don't know if the null will be a string here. What if we say equal to null? Okay. And if we do this, okay, And if we do this and change this to JSON-FPUZ, no, okay. Now the problem is, I don't know if that actually means it parsed correctly. Because, let's see what the size is, 8.7 megabytes. So we need to refresh this somehow. Find. Okay. Can I refresh? Here we go, refresh. Storage size. So it could be that it is just more efficient at storing the not the stringified data, right? Which is interesting. Now, what if we look for parse errors that are equal to true? And then we don't actually care about that. Right? We don't care about that either. So if I say limit 1, and I'm actually going to output a document here, what do I see? Joined, should I do raw? Parse error true. What if we say parse error and these are, one of these exists? Is that possible? It should be possible. Okay, well, we don't have that. That's good. That's a good sign. So, by the way, how is everything looking? Bitrate. Please set bitrate less than 600. It is less than 600. Why does it say fair? 1 second. Destination Twitch. All right, let's see. Twitch. Bitrate seems pretty standard. And YouTube, so far, no more errors. All right, sweet. Nobody's watching, but that's fine. All right. So, so now the actual utility of all of this is to create the counter IDs, right? And to do that, I'm actually going to look at the API code and figure out exactly how it's being generated, just so I make sure that I'm using the same function. So there needs to be a function here somewhere that creates the counter IDs. So somewhere up here, in the counter API, and maybe it'll be quicker to, no. Let's look at the actual thing, right? So init counter data, counter data, counter file name. Okay, no, that's not what. Safe sanitize counter ID. Get counter val counter ID. Get remote. Increment counter ID. Counter all, counter safe. We're creating the counter IDs on the client, actually. We can look at the client as well. Feature counter. Nope. Puzzle counter. Nope. Solve counter. Oh my brain. So, counter ID. Get counter ID. All right. This doesn't do the exclusion check, but that's just not happening here. I think the exclusion check is up here. All right. Can I kind of want to find this in the thing as well, but right now I think we can do this. Let me just quickly see, because I think there's something here with fixed counters for sure. And then somewhere in here, I probably have the get counter ID thing. Starts with get counter ID. Oh, because here I'm just pulling it from the counters actually. Oh, and we can pull the counter data directly as well into its own table. That should also be part of the puzzle database, of course. All right, let's put that here for a sec. Create counter ID. Now, the one issue here is that that if I pass in the JSON, I don't actually know what kind it is and all that stuff. So we either make that determination outside, or we make some sort of smart check that just goes through all of it, like looks at all the data and tries to figure out what the counter ID might be, right? So for now, we'll just do this. It's gonna output that like that. And equals, or not equals true, right? And what we should be able to do then here, we'll just do something like this. And we'll just pass both in. I guess it'll be doc.json1 or .json2. I'm not sure if this was the right decision to put them into two different fields, or if I should have just put them in the same field. Because ultimately, I might want to cache the SCL version of the F puzzle as well in the future. All right. So, problem is the puzzle, the author and whatnot data could be all sorts of places. All right, let's have a look at a couple of places here. Okay, so we should be able to say match we should be able to say match author equal null, or exists false author. Do I do this? JSON fpus dot author. Okay. What if we output the puzzle first here? Okay. So this would be cages. Okay. Puzzle.cages. Cages dot find value const re author re cage re meta cage author, and it'll basically be author colon. And I think we should just be able to do, just call execute test on that. Something like that. Something like that. Okay, so can we exclude that from this match? Dot cages. So let's see. Match find in array. match. Something like that. So the element operation matches documents that contain an array field with at least one element that matches all the specified criteria. So we should be able to do something like match. And how that works. How does that work? Value $regx author. Well, that's not doing what we need to do. Match value regex author. What if I want to find one like that? Match. Match. So element match results find results match value regex author cages. This looks to me like it's the correct thing. So if we say match array of objects, search an array of objects in awards, match award, national medal, year. So value, right? So we have cages. Each cage has a value. If we do this for a second here, and we'll just output the document here for a sec, right? So it's JSON S. Oh, no, wait. JSON fpuz. Ah, it's not JSON fpuz, it's JSON SCL. All right. JSON SCL. Cages author shadow nexus. All right. So okay. And then we'll do value regex. How do we invert that? Element not. Okay, so we can invert it. So we'll do a not. I think that's how many braces I need. Nope. Okay. All right, and now we'll output the puzzle again. So where's the author now? Maybe under metadata? Or we just don't have an author. So these potentially are very early, but it has a solution. It has no author and it has a solution? Are you kidding me? Really? Let us output the short ID. doc.shortid, just so we can double check it against an actual piece of data here. No rules, no author. Okay, so this just might not have an author. So that's not actually very useful. Can we skip? I'm going to aggregate skip and limit. So I'm guessing it's just called skip. Okay. So if I do a skip one, because the problem is I can't just exclude ones that don't match those author things because I might be wrong, right? Ah, okay. All right. Does this have an author? I don't think so. And the problem is there might be a lot of them, right? Ah, wait. It does seem to have some kind of something something. Where could that be, that data? Puzzle, grid, Renban, disabled, logic. Let us output something here. Dot puzzle raw dot slice 0 20 doc dot short id. It's fpus data. So fpus defaults to unknown. Okay. The problem is, how am I going to ensure I've grabbed all the ways that we can have authors? Okay, let's look for all the ones that have metadata. No. Yeah, the problem is I don't actually know how many puzzles there are without authors. There could be a lot. But I want to capture all ways authors can be determined. Now, as far as I can tell, there's basically three places. There's metadata. So in a way, we kind of don't want to do that. We actually want to dig through them, right? So instead of outputting that, right, we have that, and we have cages dot metadata puzzle.metadata. Right, let's just do that. Basically, that's the three ways, right? I'm pretty sure of that. And we'll probably need to do that. Right. And if I now say, instead of doing these, we'll do a or, and then in this or, it's gonna be either we have an author, or we have cages with that, property, so not the not, or we have dot metadata dot author. Exists value regex or match. Where am I going wrong here? Author exists true. Metadata author. Unexpected token colon. Oh, because these need to be objects. Man, this syntax is so clunky. I really don't like it. All right. I mean, personally, I'm all for JSON, but man, this is clunky syntax. Okay, so this should now not. Okay, no. Of course, that's possible because that's one of my constraints. So now we should really do something like let author equal this or this, and I guess we can do the or down here, or whoops, the cage stuff, something like that. All right. All right. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of these. Get rid of these tabs. Boom. Author, author, author. And we'll do the same thing for title. And I think title can be in the same places. And we'll just get puzzle, get puzzle meta prop. Puzzle prop. And it's basically just gonna be basically this. So it's gonna be puzzle prop or puzzle.metadata prop or puzzle.cages find new regex prop colon dot test value dot value. I think that's it. So author equals this puzzle author, and title is this title. And then we have author slash title, author title. Yeah, we can just delete that. Right. Unless we can't. All right. Author title, author title. Okay. Okay. And now we want to build our thingamajig here, right? Except we also want it to work for puzzles that don't have an author and a title. Right. So it's basically just gonna be this or unknown, right? Or untitled here. And then we have clean string, and then we'll have let counter ID equals whatever that is. And then we'll output counter ID. Yeah. And I sometimes forget how many of them there are. Ooh, non-empty array. What? And or must not be non-empty. Well, that's silly. Okay. And then we have the counter ID, and that's the thing we want to return. So we're just going to return that. Return. And we don't need to output that anymore. Right. And we can just do that. Something like that. So that should be the bona fide counter IDs. And now we should basically look for counter IDs that aren't unknown or whatnot. The problem is now we have the reverse problem. Can I find them like that? Author, colon, title, colon. Oh, wait, what? What? Author, shadow, nexus, title, shooting a shat. All right. Let us output the puzzle. It feels like I'm not splitting the prop away properly. Oh. Oh yeah. Wait. Okay, we're matching it, but we're not fetching the prop thingamajig, the prop regex. Dot replace slash not colon not colon plus colon backslash s. Right, from the start, non-colon characters followed by a colon followed by white space, and we're going to replace that with nothing. Right, and I got that wrong somehow. I think the syntax highlighting is broken. Nope, I broke it. There needs to be a closing bracket. Actually, no, I don't think we need a closing bracket. We can just do that. Yeah, and that gets rid of all of that. So we can go back to listing, 30 of these without the puzzle data. Spamming up the console. And none of these are unknown. Now I'm not sure if my filter here is not giving me the unknowns or... wait, okay, undefined reading replace. All right, so that needs to be... that needs to be like this. I didn't see that. Oh, no, not like that. All right. There we go. And like something like this probably doesn't have a title then. Iron by Zagreus. It does have a title. All right, what if we do a match for short ID is equal to this, right? And then we do output the puzzle. And we'll see what happened with the author and the title here. So let's see. Let us see. Author, title. Oh, this doesn't survive my cleaning here. Well, that's just the counter ID, and that's probably why the counter is so high. All right. Yeah, that's not something we can fix from here. It's just because the counter ID only takes alphabetical characters to keep it sane, and this one does not use sane characters. All right, so that's something for the future to fix in the counter ID system. But, this will actually at least tell us about that. So, what we need to do now is we actually want to create counter IDs and add them in. So we're going back to creating bulk ops. Yes. And we are going to add this counter ID thing. But wait, first we'll want to make sure we're going to filter out all the ones where it's unknown, right? So hopefully here I'll have some unknown unknowns. Somewhere, any of these? Right? We should get unknown untitled for... here we go, unknown untitled, right? So we basically want to filter out these. So we'll do let counter ID equal yada yada. And then we'll do if counter ID is not equal to this, then we'll output the counter ID. So, and we'll do if it's equal to that, we'll output, see how many there are, like that. Okay, there's only 2 in our sample here. But that should give us the counter IDs. Now, some of these will be a bit broken, and we'll deal with that in a different place. Nothing to do with us here, right? Update set counter ID. Now, counter ID is probably something we also want to index by. So, insert raw parcels, initdb format, counter ID. And we'll probably want to insert index by parse error as well. Makes sense, right? And we might as well add author and title as well. Right? Yeah, it makes sense. All right, we can do let author. But do we accept slashes in? You know what? We'll just pull them out. So yeah, exactly. Okay. If we have a counter ID, or we do it the other way around, because even if we don't have a valid counter ID. No, we'll get a counter ID if we have either an author or a title. So I think it makes sense to just do this here. And then just set it to whatever these spit out, right? And if it only has one or the other, then it'll be an undefined or a null value or whatever, right? And so we're gonna do something like let pos JSON equals that. We'll just do one or the other, right? We don't care. And we'll pass that in here. And then we should be able to just spit out the bulk ops and see if they make sense to us. Short ID is not defined. Oh yeah, okay. So we'll need to kind of do that. Something like that. JSON. I clipped the J's for some reason. Both of them. Okay. So, for example, this will add a counter ID, add a title, and an author. And it'll do this for a whole bunch of puzzles. So, let us take this little bitty here. Bring that up here. And for counters which are known untitled, we just skip the whole thing. We just don't do anything. All right. And this is for 100. So let's see how long that takes. It did 98. Okay, so that means there were 2 unknowns there. Oh, and now we'll do where counter IDs not exists, right? And we'll say match counter ID exists false. All right, so that's 100 times 100 each time. So 1,000 takes half a second. So if we do 5,000, it should be 2-3 seconds. Title replace is not a function. Title.replace is not a function. Title replace is not a function. Right, let's do this. And I'm just going to rethrow it because I don't actually want to throw error. I don't want to proceed, but I want to output console.log puzzle author and title. So if I do that, counter ID is not defined. Author, title. Inner, counter ID is not defined. What? What? Oh, all right. Screw that. I'm making it too complicated for myself. We're just gonna do that up here. Try let counter ID, counter ID, counter ID. So, Nicoletta author, title is 8. What? Title. Title is 8. What's the short ID here? Okay, I think it's plenty to just force it to string, I guess. So puzzle.title. Title is 8. So JSON.stringify. I just need to see if I force it to string, and if I do the same thing to something that's not, like, what does it look like, right? So if I now string this, and I string that, because now suddenly undefined will become the string undefined, which I don't like. What if I do this and title, string title, like if I do this, so that stays undefined, but that converts it to a string. And I think for null it'll do the same thing. So we should be able to do this and string, and we'll do the same thing for that. Prop as string, or yeah, we'll just do we'll do val and string val. Basically, if it's null or undefined, we'll just return it. And we should be able to do this without doubling up. Like that. And this, yeah, that's always a string. That's not gonna work. That's never gonna return as a number. Did I fix it? Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. All right, we'll just keep going now. I can probably do more than 5,000. Let's see. 20,000, 18,000. Is that all unknowns, or is that because we're nearly done? 70,000. Because this part is probably not perfect. Okay, now the thing is, I'm checking for counter IDs, but there are a bunch where we're not setting counter IDs, so I'm a little concerned. I'm not entirely certain what it's done. Because there should be, it's according to this, they're now 0. Where, oh, I'm over time, guys. I'm over time. All right. Yeah, we'll need to do a little bit of sanity checking because I figured since I didn't mark down errors, parse errors like I did with the full parsing. I should always have some failures at the end. But now that there's 0 where counter ID doesn't exist, how does it fill in the ones where counter ID is not a valid value, right? And what do these return? Here we go. So for example, something like this. If I look at that. No, but this, wait. This has cancel. Wait, where is, wait a second. How does this one not have a username and or the author or you know? Okay, 1 second here. If we skip all of these and we'll just match the specific short ID, what do we end up with? Well, yes, but what else? Oh, it's one where it doesn't have the data, I'm guessing. Let me just output the doc quickly here. Okay. So that's because of the parsing. All right. So before I close it off, let's have a quick. What was the one where we did? What do we call it? Group by format. So what if we do this? Move this back. Right. And we'll do a quick aggregate by that stuff. And that stuff being a group. It looks something like that. So we're going to group the ID being author. Nope. $sign for some reason, right? Do we do the count thing? I believe so. I don't know what we're gonna see over here. I think we'll want to do a count. Just in case this is gonna go nuts. So that should get us, in theory, the number of different authors. Right. And if instead of this, we'll do a limit 10, that'll just give us 10 random ones, right? Yes. And if we'll do a sort by, if we'll do a sort by count 1, so we'll start with the big ones. Nope. -1. We'll start with big ones, sort backwards, right? All right, so author null has 11,000 and Clover has 3,658. Philip Newman has 2,951. Is that the number of puzzles per author? I guess it could be. Because I was looking at number of solves per author, I've never actually looked at number of puzzles per author. So that's interesting. And what was the original total count? So 2,574 different authors. That is actually an interesting number. Okay. That's information we did not have. And then what we can do is we can do things like, what was it? Count greater than, and so on. So we can say, okay, how many authors are there? It's like, so less than 10, or less than 3, or less than less LTE, right? 3. And in this case, we actually want the count. We don't want a limit. So we have 1,354 authors. Or let's do one, right? So we have 758 authors that have one puzzle. But if we say greater than or equal to 100, we'll have 140. And if we say more than 1,000 puzzles, we only have 9. And more than 500 puzzles, we have 24. And we could just output them, right? So these are the 24 authors that have more than 500 puzzles to their name, including Rockred Zero and Bill Murphy and Blobs and all, you know. Somebody like Fistamafel, we could now do something like match author regex. Ooh. Regex fists, right? Am I misspelling that? Match. Oh wait, he probably hasn't done over 500, right? All the authors whose name starts with P? No. Match author. Oh, wait. Match ID author. If I do something like this, phi, ph, match ID. Is it match ID dot author? Like that? Ah, here we go. All right. Yeah, learning here. So, Fistamafel, 184 puzzles. Look at that. That's what I was looking for, right? And if I do something like Clover, how many puzzles or how many different names do I have that have Clover in them? All right, so there's 5 categories with the name Clover in them. And if you, let's say, do the same thing for Philip Newman, like how many authors are there that have regex, that match regex Newman? I think I'm gonna have to put the options in separately. Node.js regex. So if we want case insensitivity, we'll have to put what in there? Option. Oh my god, that's. Oh, that syntax makes me sad. All right, so we'll do options I. There we go. Clover, and if we do the same thing with Nala. Here, Sandra Nala with a space, who did 86 puzzles. I probably want to trim these to bring them together. And 5 by Nala themselves. What about Sven? Ah, Svenby and Sven Oliberend. What about Simon? Simon Sonntag, Sebastian Simon, Simon Z. What about CTC? All right, 140 puzzles by CTC. Cool. All right, this is exactly where I want to get to with this. I want to start building out metadata. I have parsed data, so let's see. We are still at 158 for the API puzzles, and we are at 131 megabytes now. It's not a lot of data, actually. And it'll take me a minute or something to rebuild it from the source data files. So that's not really a big deal. So that's great. Except one of the problems I have right now is I've been overriding this. So I have to kind of go back now. And this is not a one-off, right? This is a process I need to be able to run over and over and over. So I really need a function that just generates all the puzzle info based on a particular puzzle. So yeah. I gotta figure that one out. All right, but for today, I'm quite happy actually. And this is moving forward. And this is the beginning of a proper puzzle database. And now I can say, okay, we have, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000 puzzles where it's missing data. They couldn't be parsed. And now we can start cleaning them up, you know. We have the hashes. We can say, hey, we only have half of the puzzles are being real or whatever. So one of the things I want to do is I want to have aliases, right? Like I want to be able to have one ID redirect to a different ID. So we don't store the data multiple times, right? Ultimately, the short IDs are unique, but the data behind them isn't, right? So, you know, we might be able to point the short IDs to actual puzzles and then eventually get the puzzles real ID. You know, like pulling the puzzle ID out of the puzzles. You know, it would be nice to see how many ID collisions there are. There might be, right? Every time there's a duplicate puzzle, the ID is duplicated as well. And it would be interesting now to look at the hash and say, okay, are hash collisions actual hash collisions or are they just duplicated puzzle data, you know, that kind of stuff. All right, that's it for today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hope to see you guys in the next Hangout. All right. I'm getting the hang of this. It's been a while. I've been off streaming for a couple of weeks, got sick, traveling, all this stuff. So gotta warm up again. Thanks a lot. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.